Before we start this video, I just want to say thank you for 15 subscribers. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, that is exponentially increased. But bad jokes aside, let's begin. So apparently the dude who owns the Farmer's Almanac says that the decade should end in 2021 because there's no year zero, which is technically true, but most people refer to decades as the 70s or the 90s, so we'll just go for that in this episode. To summarize the 2010s in gaming to me, it would go something like this. Gaming goes from a big community to the most expensive industry in entertainment. Huge games like Minecraft and Roblox, totally not biased here, rise up, and games like Pokemon Go and Fortnite dominate for several years. Indie games exploded, along with game development software easier to obtain, leads to much more games that aren't just developed by a huge studio. The 2010s were really the pinnacle of gaming, and it has evolved with many new things coming out. So, what will the next decade look like? First off, let's start with cloud gaming. There were several attempts to create cloud gaming in the 2010s. To give some background, cloud gaming is where instead of having a big box and storing data to play games, cloud gaming lets you stream games from the company's database or something like that. There's supposed to be many other benefits, so why isn't cloud gaming the new big thing? I have heard that there have been a few other attempts at making cloud gaming, but the one I'm going to focus on, the most recent, Stadia, developed by Google. Stadia. Before Stadia's launch, there are many reveals, presentations, and advertisements bragging about Stadia's specs, connection, resolution, etc. Many people were excited. In turn, many people pre-ordered Stadia. Then Stadia came out. Input lag. Stadia not turning on. Resolution drops equivalent to running Halo 5 on a potato. All the sleep paralysis horrors any studio with over a $12 budget could possibly get. This means Google lied, and for corporations, that's a big no-no. Google, watching their cloud gaming service crumble to the ground, decided to monetize the heck out of it. Customers were not happy. I am still, to this day, seeing ads about Stadia. It's like Google just dug Stadia out of its grave, put little puppet strings on it, and makes it dance around and do weird stuff. That is the story of Stadia. The little boy with big aspirations, but shot out into the world too soon and ended up onto the streets. To summarize my rant, cloud gaming did not burst out in 2019 or the 2010s, but there are other companies who seek fortune in this technology. Microsoft, realizing this is a new and untamed technology, made xCloud, developed by Xbox, which is still in beta. Microsoft is letting people test out xCloud and leave their feedback. They are making sure that their launch is not a dumpster fire, which leads me to believe that xCloud could be something in this new decade. Other companies like Amazon still have their eyes on cloud gaming. I do think cloud gaming could take off, but I don't think that it will end things like console gaming. That leads us to our next subject. The next console games to be anticipated are the PlayStation 5 and Xbox's Project Scarlet. Project Scarlet will be coming out in holiday of 2020. It is anticipated to be very fast with minimal loading time for the best experience. It'll also be releasing alongside Halo Infinite, which we'll get to later. At a failed attempt to find out about the PS5, I found out about the Nintendo Switch Lite. It's basically just a Nintendo Switch, but the Joy-Con controllers are hot glued to the screen, and I think it's smaller. It came out in late 2019 and isn't too interesting. Not too game-breaking or whatever, but you never know. Nintendo could one day purchase Zimbabwe and take over the world, and Switch Lite becomes the greatest console. Of course, consoles are nothing without the games to play on them. In this section of the massive script, we will focus on some highly anticipated games that will come out this year. I loved Halo when I was younger, and I still think it is awesome. Halo has been, or at least seemed, dormant for the past few years, but that developing time has added up. Halo has been bound to Xbox for most of its games, but in 2019, Halo Reach and Combat Evolved were released on PC for the first time. 343 Industries had to delay the launch, but that was only to fix some tweaks to improve the launch. You might be seeing a trend here. It is quite crucial that they have a good launch on PC, because that would open up a whole new world of potential players. There's also the Halo game every Halo fan has been waiting for, Halo Infinite. 343 has tried to take all of their feedback from prior games and punch it into this one massive game release. It will be launching alongside Project Scarlet. Cyberpunk 2077 will be released in mid-April of 2020. Cyberpunk is going to have a massive open-world experience and will have features that little to no games have ever tackled. It is being developed by the emerging CD Projekt Red. I like them because they diss on EA for their monetization practices. There are many other cool games that will be coming out in 2020. There's stuff like Minecraft Dungeons and even Kerbal Space Program 2! Taking a step back, let's look at some of the games that are already existing and very popular. What will the next decade be like for these games? Fortnite's golden days are long in the past, and player counts are diminishing. It is still a very popular game, but if these trends continue in a few years, Fortnite will be only an empty shell of what it once was through seasons 5 through 8. Now that I say that, Fortnite will probably pull off something crazy and boot Minecraft off the throne again, but who knows. Both Roblox and Minecraft are indie games, with much more variety and freedom in what you can do. That is most likely why they lasted so long. But Fortnite is somewhat of a typical FPS. Many FPS games will dominate for years but then fade off. Fortnite, in my opinion, is just not that sustainable as one of the very top games. Roblox has had a very long lifetime and has changed so much over that expansive time. I think Roblox could live throughout most all of the 2020s, but I believe it'll go through massive changes. Roblox could almost be completely unrecognizable from now compared to 10 years in the future. New games, new interface, new sounds, a shift in player base and demographics, new developers and studios, all these things could change in this new decade. Minecraft's success is just insane. I know I'm biased here, but the level of freedom and creative capability you can put into this game is way out of the league of any other games. All the sandbox games I've played, nothing compares to Minecraft. Minecraft has lived on because no game has created an open world sandbox experience that has topped Minecraft. Mojang has plans to make Minecraft a 100-year game, so, go for it, Mojang. There are some issues in the fact that Mojang, a once praised game development studio, is slowly inching away from the Minecraft community. Fans are starting to get less satisfied with the updates, which is a big oof. Many things might disappear in the 2020s. Terraria, a game praised by its community, is going to implement its very last update. This will probably result in a stagnation/drop of sales, and many players might just turn up and leave. Bethesda Softworks, a game studio that released amazing titles like the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout series, has released the dumpster fire that is Fallout 76. Bethesda's community no longer trusts Bethesda, and 76's crap sales has led to financial ruin. EA, or Electronic Arts, and Activision have long been shamed for their predatory microtransactions. Game by game, the unhappy players strike back harder and harder. I know this video mostly talked about what would happen in just 2020, but all this change will define what happens after it. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video.